All right, I think it looks like everyone is here. Hi, how are you guys? Nice to see you all again. All right, so I'm gonna start my sharing my screen. All right, so can everyone see my PowerPoint? Just give me a thumbs up. Nice.
Yep, we can see it.
Perfect, thank you. Now, just a reminder, I can't see everyone when I am sharing my screen. So if you have a question, I will ask about questions after every slide. Kathleen, you can't hear me? Okay. Just one moment while I chat Kathy real fast and see how she's doing. Kathleen.
Could I ask a question, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
Last week you were supposed to send the last week's stuff out so we could review them, and I never saw that.
Yeah, I think that we're still in the works of getting, you mean the PowerPoints, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so we're still in the works of sending out the PowerPoints. And Kathleen, I can see you can't hear us. But yes, we will send out the PowerPoints. Right now, last week's YouTube or session, like class session, is posted on YouTube. So if you missed anything last class, you can go ahead and look at our YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'll send the link in the chat for the recording from last week. But we're still working on getting the PowerPoint available and sent out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, will the PowerPoint have the voice with it, with the directions?
The recording is...
Yes, the recording.
Yeah, the recording will be exactly what you saw last week with the sound and everything.
Okay, when you send it out on the PowerPoint.
I can send both together.
Okay, thank you, because I was waiting on that so I could go over it, because like I say, part of my screen, I don't see the handouts because the people's pictures are coming down the side. They're not going across the top, so I don't see the whole thing.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and get started with week 2. And yes, if you have any questions, I will make sure to ask about questions after every slide. And then if you do have a question, please just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your question because I can't see everyone when I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so to get started, I'm just going to go over the agenda real briefly. So we're going to be talking about Wi-Fi with a brief information about public usage and how to stay safe when using public Wi-Fi. We'll also be talking about Bluetooth, and we're going to be discussing basic apps, which are the apps that are preloaded on your phone. Many of you may have noticed that when you bought your phone, it came with a bunch of apps already. So we're going to be going over some of the more important ones of those. And then we're going to quickly discuss background running applications. And I'm not sure if we talked about this last class, but we will be going over it this class. All right, so to begin, Wi-Fi is a way that computers, smartphones, and other devices can connect over the internet or communicate with each other wirelessly within a particular area. So Wi-Fi isn't everywhere, it's in certain places. If you have Wi-Fi at home, it would be at your home and it only exceeds a certain amount outside of your home. If you went 5 minutes down the street, you wouldn't have Wi-Fi anymore. And a lot of popular businesses have Wi-Fi now. So if you were to go into Starbucks or Panera or even Costco, they have their own Wi-Fi that you could log into. Your Wi-Fi or mobile data connection is on your control center. So we talked about our control center last week. That's when you pull down from the top of your screen and pull down again. And you have your control center. And there you're going to see Wi-Fi, which is the first one here, and mobile data. Now I'm going to use my pointer. So this is what your Wi-Fi icon will look like at the top of your screen right here, if you all can see my pointer. And then this would be your mobile data notification here. So, oops. So when your Wi-Fi is connected, it will be blue like these ones here. And when it is off, it'll be gray. Now, when your mobile data icon is turned on, it will be green instead of blue. And again, it'll be gray if it's turned off. Now, just a note that if you are using, if you have a limited data plan on your phone plan, using Wi-Fi is pretty important. So depending on what kind of phone plan you have, you might have a limited amount of data that you can retrieve on your phone. And what I mean by that is that every time you connect to the internet, every time you make a call, every time you text, anytime you download anything, you're using your mobile data. Now, if you have a limited plan, you want to make sure that you're always, or not always, but often making sure that you're connecting with Wi-Fi because Wi-Fi will not take from your data plan, right? It's kind of like a free service, sort of, if you're not paying for Wi-Fi at your home, but it's not going to use your mobile data. So you won't get charged for that. So if you went over your mobile data amount, you might get charged for that if you don't have an unlimited data plan. Now, when your mobile data is on and you wanted to use Wi-Fi, you could turn on your Wi-Fi and it will kind of prioritize your Wi-Fi. So you don't have to turn off your mobile data to make sure that you are connected to Wi-Fi. It will always connect to Wi-Fi first. So yeah, so your current connection status is going to be at the very, very top of your notification bar on your phone. So I have my pointer on this, kind of looks like a pizza slice or like a piece of pie. And each bar is a symbol of how well your connection is. So as you can see here, this top bar is kind of faded. You can't really see it, but you have the three underneath that are blocked out in white. That means that your connection is pretty strong, but it's not perfect because this one here is not lit up. So it's not the strongest connection you can have, but it's not weak either. Now, if you had no signal, that means that it's not connected to Wi-Fi at all, if all of these were gray instead of white in the pizza slice. And if there was just one, it would be a weak connection and so on. Right here, right next to the pizza slice, we have like an up graph bar here. And this bar is your mobile data. So just like Wi-Fi, it will be all blocked out if it's a strong connection. But if it's a weak connection, it might only have the smallest section filled in. Now, regarding using Wi-Fi in public, you do want to be careful about accessing personal information. And that can include banking information, anything that's personal that you're putting in your username and password using a public Wi-Fi. I wouldn't say that it's unsafe, but there's a possibility that somebody can get your information when you're using a public Wi-Fi service. So you want to be cognizant that you're not just logging into personal information when you're using that. Does anybody have any questions about Wi-Fi? All right, we're going to move on. So next we're going to talk a little bit about Bluetooth. Bluetooth, like Wi-Fi, enables devices such as phones, cameras, speakers, or headphones to data share between devices wirelessly. So if you wanted to connect your phone to your car, if you had a car that is Bluetooth compliant, you would be able to connect your phone to your car. And it would be able to play media such as music. It could also give you directions through the speakers of your car. And you could also make phone calls, answer phone calls hands-free with a small microphone at the very top of your car. It's built in already. You won't see it. And the sound will play through the speakers of your car. So that's a really good, so Bluetooth is really great. And then also, as a note, there are a lot of wireless headphones now. So using Bluetooth to connect your device, either your tablet or your smartphone, to headphones is another way that Bluetooth is used. So to connect your Bluetooth device to your smartphone, you would want to begin at your control center. And then you would want to tap and hold this Bluetooth icon here. And when you do that, it's going to scan for Bluetooth connection options. Now you would have to have another device with Bluetooth, and both devices would have to be on to connect to each other. And once you scan and find the device that you're looking for example, on my phone, I have a pair of wireless headphones, and if I press and hold my Bluetooth button, it's going to scan for my headphones, and then my headphones are called Indie Fuel. So when I press and hold the Bluetooth, it will search and it'll say Indie Fuel headphones, and I will say yes. I will tap that, and then it will connect to my headphones. So it's a really awesome functionality of your phone. Does anybody have any questions about Bluetooth and the uses for Bluetooth? All right, we're going to go ahead and move on. And so next we have basic apps. So there are a ton of different apps, and each are illustrated with a different icon. So here we have like our calculator, our calendar. This would be our web searching. Well, actually, this would be more of it. This is more of like a beta, but Google Chrome. And then, yeah, so we have a bunch of different options here. Does anybody have any questions about these icons or anything? Or do you have a phone, or do you have an icon on your phone that you were wondering about? You can always say after class and show me, and I can answer that question for you. And then for deleting apps, you would want to press and hold to begin editing your applications. Sometimes, even on Samsung devices, the applications will wiggle. Sometimes they won't at all, they will stay still. But a minus bar should appear in the top left-hand corner of your app, or depending on what kind of phone you have, you might have to press and hold the application you would like to delete and then drag it to the top of your screen. And there might be a trash can there that, that says delete app, and you would say yes. Does anybody have any other, any options about, any questions about deleting applications? Because it can be different for a lot of different phones, but typically you want to press or tap and hold and then drag to the top, or you might get a minus bar as well. So regarding basic apps, Google Maps is perhaps one of the most useful apps on your device, at least in my opinion. It is great because it allows you to type in any restaurant, any location that you would like to go to, or an address, and it shows you how long it should take to get there. It shows you if there's any accidents. It alerts you if there is a speed trap ahead, and it shows you other possible routes to get to where you're going. I'm going to go ahead and play this short video.
Google Maps can calculate the fastest route
Can you all hear her voice?
to a location and give you turn-by-turn directions to help you get there. Let's take a look at how. This blue circle is the direction symbol. To begin getting directions, tap it. At the top of the screen, there will be two fields. The top field, labeled From, will be set to Your Location by default. If you don't want to get directions from your current location, you can tap this field and enter a new starting location. To pick a destination, tap on Choose Destination. Then enter a location. You can enter a specific address or search for a destination by entering the name of a place, such as a restaurant, store, park, or school. When the correct destination appears in the drop-down list, tap to select it. Once a destination is chosen, Google Maps will show an overview of the route along with the estimated travel time. Google Maps offers directions for different methods of transportation. You can select whether you'll be traveling by car, using public transportation, walking, or riding a bike by tapping the appropriate icon. Here, Travel by Car is selected. When you are ready to start your trip, tap on the blue circle with the arrow. This will take you to the navigation view. Travel time, distance to the destination, and estimated time of arrival are displayed at the bottom of the screen. At the top of the screen is the next action required in the directions to reach your destination. Here, it indicates that in 100 feet, you will need to make a left turn on South Harrington Street. Directly below the street name, specific traffic lanes are displayed. The left turn arrow in white indicates you should be in the left lane to take a left turn when you reach South Harrington Street.
Turn left onto South Harrington Street, then turn left onto Hillsborough Street.
Google Maps will read instructions to you as you make your way to your destination.
You should reach your destination by 11:44 a.m. Turn left onto Hillsborough Street.
Don't worry if you miss a turn.
Turn right onto St. Mary's Street.
Google Maps will automatically recalculate your route to get you back on track to your destination.
In a quarter mile at the traffic circle, take the first exit and stay on Hillsborough Street. In 1,000 feet, you will arrive at your destination.
Once you have arrived, Google Maps will automatically end its directions.
You have arrived at your destination.
You can stop directions at any time by pressing the X in the bottom left of your screen. Google Maps will display a street view image to help you find the right location. Getting directions with Google Maps is a great way to get where you need to go quickly and without.
Okay, did anybody have any questions about Google Maps? Okay, I do want to, oh, Kathy, did you have a question?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a place on there for Google Maps to avoid highways?
Yes, there are, oh my gosh, yes, there is. So let me go ahead and grab my phone.
Because I don't drive the freeway, so.
No worries. While my phone is loading, just give me 1 second. But yes, there is a way to avoid tolls. There's a way to avoid highways. And I think there was another option as well. Let me go ahead and take a look. Okay, so when I click on my Google Maps, I can put in a destination here. So I'm going to, the last place I went to was T-Mobile. So I have T-Mobile here, and then I'm going to go ahead and click Get Directions. And then when I do that, right here, there is, do you see these 3 dots right next to your location?
Yes.
When I click those 3 dots, there's going to be a drop-down menu, and the first one says route options. So if I click route options, you're going to get 3 different options. You're going to get avoid highways, avoid tolls, and avoid ferries. So I can click avoid highways, and I can click done, and then it will try to find my best route.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, did that answer your question?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, any other questions about Google Maps before I get started on the next slide? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. Okay, so the next basic application that I wanted to talk to you about was notes. There are a few different note options in your phone. So here we have, I think this one used to be the icon when, so for the older phones, this is what your icon is going to look like. For the newer phones, it might look like this Post-it note, this yellow Post-it note here. And then this one with the light bulb and the Post-it note is Google, Google Keep, K-E-E-P notes. Google Keep Notes is what I'm going to be talking about today, but all of the notes kind of function the same way. So even if I go over this, even though it's just one, you can use the same techniques with other note applications. So to get started, to create a note, you would want to click this button. Let me see here. Does it have a button? Okay, yes. So here at the bottom, where it says take a note, you can begin typing your note there. Sometimes, depending on the app, it might have a little circle with a plus sign to add a note. So it might have like this little plus symbol to start a new note. And then you can attach audio and pictures with these buttons here. So this button would be your audio, and this little camera icon, that's how you would attach pictures. These 3 lines here indicate that you can make a list. So as we can see here, the list ones have little boxes that you can check off with a tap in the box. But other ones, other notes don't necessarily need a boxes to check off. You could just go ahead and type your note and it will be in a paragraph format. And then you want to title your note. So to keep clarity amongst your notes, you might want to title it grocery list or reminder for dental appointment. I have a meeting at this day, whatever, you know, these are my passwords for my whatever, that's totally cool. And then you want to color your note. So typically there will be an options button. So here we have an options button, or here we have a paint palette that you would want to click on, and then you're going to get all of these color options. And once you create your note, you can pick the color that you would like to assign it to keep things together. So if you had a couple of notes that had to do with work, you could make work like green. You could make business, you know, not business, like personal information, you know, red, whatever you would like. You can go ahead and do that. So does anybody have any questions about the notes application? Okay. And then we have the calendar. Let's see how long this, oh, somebody has a chat. What else are notes called? So sometimes it's called Google Keep. In my phone here, it's called Google Keep. So if you look under your phone, if you search Google in your phone, phone's applications, you will be able to find Google Keep. Oh, interesting. I don't even have it on this phone. Let's see. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, so here is my Google Keep notes. It doesn't say notes. Oh yeah, it does. It says Keep Notes. So it will say notes somewhere on the app. You might have to download it from the App Store as a quick reminder. If you don't have a note application on your phone, you can always go to the App Store or the Google Play Store rather, and you can download the Google Keep Notes app. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and watch this video about our calendars.
Hi guys, in this tutorial I'll be showing you how to use the calendar app on any Android phone. Now when it comes to managing daily tasks and a routine or events, the calendar app is pretty much the best app you can use. There's a lot of alternatives on the Google Play Store that you can download, but you will find that the calendar is pre-installed and it's probably the easiest of all the apps to use. To do this, open up your app drawer and select the calendar app that's provided. Now this is a blank calendar pretty much. To create an event, what we need to do is press the plus button. And at the top we'll give it a name, so let's just put party. Underneath you can say if it's an all day thing and then choose the day, so we can set it for today, that's fine. Underneath, it'll attach to an email, so you'll get a notification through that email when it's near, which is fine. And also you can check when you want the email, the notifications to start letting you know about the event. So I'll say I want it on the day of the event at 9 a.m. You can add your location, and you can also add notes. So if there's, specific things you need to know about it, add them there. Repeat, so basically this will mean if it's a repeat event, so if it's a weekly event, you can select this option, and it'll tell you, so we want it to remind us weekly because we're having that party every week. That's a lot of parties. And at the bottom here, we can get the invitees option. So this allows us to use our contacts app to add certain people to that event, and it lets us track who's coming. So it'll only go through your contacts list, so you'll need to make sure that you've got everyone added. And once that's done, you just press save. Now, as you can see, it's now added, and because we selected the weekly mode, we can now see all the options every week. And then if you want to have a close look, you can select view, and then if you go to week as shown, and it'll break it down of what you've got on every day this week. And again, you can just press the plus button to keep adding more stuff. Now, as long as you attach to your own Gmail account, if you then log into a different Android phone with that same account, all your calendar stuff will import with it, so any events you've created will automatically be added to your new device. Something that's highly useful, and it will save you a lot of time. And that is the basic.
Okay, so he did go pretty quick. Does anybody have any questions about that? Yeah, Kathy.
Okay, I was looking for the calendar on my phone, so I got it, but I have that this one up here, the 31 with the multicolored.
Yeah, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how do I get into the calendar? I missed that because I was looking here. I'm sorry.
No worries. So all you would do is go ahead and you would click that. So I have that calendar too here. So you would click that button, and that should bring up your calendar right away.
Okay, it doesn't. That's why
do you need to set it up? Does it say you need to set it up?
No, it just says make the most of every day.
Okay, can you swipe or hit next?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I swiped it.
Yeah, and then keep swiping until you get to the actual app. It's just letting you know because it's your first time logging in. So it's like, hey, these are all the things that you can do.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay.
It?
Yeah. Okay. Now I got it.
Okay. Yeah. And again, just to reiterate, you can click the plus button to kind of create a new event. And then you can title the event. You can add a location to the event. So if it's at a specific place, you can say it's there. You can write a note about that, about the appointment. So remember to bring whatever with you. And you can have it set to remind you at a certain time. So typically I like it to remind me one day before the event, because if it's that morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's today, and I had forgotten. So I like to have it one day in advance. If, there's a bunch of options. There's 1 minute before, there's 5 minutes before, there's 2 days, and then there's also, which is really a really cool feature, is that you can continue, you can set it for either all day or at specific times. So this one is going to start at 10 a.m. and end at 11, but you can set it for all day. But a really cool feature is that you can make the alarm repeat, or the event repeat. So if it's a weekly thing like he had, you can put, every day, every week on this day, I have a business meeting, or every week or you can even have it every day to remind you every day as well. So yeah, the Google Apps calendar, the Google Calendar, sorry, is fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then we have our gallery. So here there are a number of options. So at the bottom here, we have pictures, albums, stories, and shared. So our picture, when you click the picture tab down below, you're going to get a full list of your pictures like this here. So it's a full list of pictures that are in the most current order of when you had taken that picture or downloaded that picture. If you are looking from an album perspective, you would see different albums. So you might see a camera album, you might see our barbecue 2020, day at the beach at Myrtle Beach 2019. You can create albums of pictures that go together and assign them to a specific album. And then we also have stories. So as you can see here, similar to albums, you can create a story by selecting a number of photos, and then it's going to play out a movie style photo display on your phone. So it will, yeah, it'll create like a little story based on those pictures, and it'll show them one at a time, like movie style. Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay, and then once you view a photo in your gallery, you have a few different options. So right here, we have screen rotation. As you can see, this picture kind of doesn't take up the whole screen. But if you rotate this picture, it's going to take up this entire screen, but landscape style. So instead of holding your phone this way to view the picture, it would rotate so that you could view the picture this way, and it'll be larger. Then this little person next to it is to tag people. So if you have certain people in that picture, you can tag them, and by tagging them, it would just kind of put their name over their face when you, or not over their face, it'll put their name next to them to kind of identify them as, you know, as the person that you tagged. And it will show up if you tap on your picture after you get done tagging that person. And then we also have favorite down below. So that picture can be favorited, and it will stay in your folder in case you were to accidentally try to delete it, and it would stay at the top of your pictures. And then we also have edit. So to edit a photo, you can put it through different filters. You can change the brightness or the contrast. You can crop a photo. You can do quite a few things in the edit tool. And then this little kind of like a sideways V situation, that symbol means sharing. So you can share this picture, and when you click on that, you're going to get brought up a bunch of different options, and I'm going to show you on my phone. So I have this picture. Now, if I wanted to share this picture, I would click this button here. And then it's going to have a list of people who I text, or it's going to have a list of applications I can send it through. So I can send it through Snapchat, messages. Yeah, I can do Instagram, Gmail, chat. I can send it a bunch of different places. So that is a good way to share pictures. And then we have the trash can here, which is for deleting a picture. So you would tap that if you wanted to delete a picture. And then up here, you'll see 3 dots. That is the More section. So from that, you can move to a new location, which is basically you moving it to an album. So if you wanted to create a new album and you wanted that picture, in particular this picture, in that album, you can click Move to New Location and click the album that you would like it to be under. You can also copy the image, you can crop the image, you can create a slideshow, which is like our stories. You can set image as background or lock screen, or you can lock the image so that it can't be deleted. You can add a location to the image. So if you wanted to remember that this is at Myrtle Beach, you can add that location. Oops. You can rename the photo, and you can look at the details about when the photo was taken and what time it was taken. And then we have alarm and clock. So obviously we can use our clock to set different times, and our world clock actually has different locations that you can view. So up here at the top, you can select your city. So it would be Cleveland, but if somebody lived in another state and they were in a different time zone than you, you could also add their time to your clock so you can see what time it is there. Of course, we have a stopwatch that measures the time elapsed from the beginning of your of when you hit play on your stopwatch. And then there's a timer, of course, that you can use that for cooking or to remind you in 20 minutes to do something. The timer is great. And then an alarm. So of course we can use this for an alarm as well. So to set up the alarm, you would want to open up the clock app and then click the alarm tab here. And of course, yours might look a little different than mine. That's okay, as long as you see alarm somewhere on your application. You would want to click alarm, and then you want to set a time for your alarm. And you can also have the alarm repeat. So like the Google Calendar, we can click repeat, and we can say, I want this to repeat Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, or I can say I want it to repeat every day. Whatever you would like. And you can label yours as well. So you can label your alarm to say good morning, or like, a medication reminder. Those types of things are great. And you can pick your sound, the sound that you would like to have play. And those options will be down below this, but you will, if you keep scrolling, you'll see label and sound, and then you want to click save. And your assistant on your phone can also set the alarm for you. So if you have Bixby or Google Assistant, and we're going to talk more about the Google Assistant and Bixby later, but if you have those, you can say, hey Bixby or hey Google, set an alarm for 3 p.m. See, my Google just went off. And you can also do that for any of the other features, right? So if I say, hey Google, set a timer. Hey Google, set a timer for 10 minutes.
Your phone has no data connection, so I can't.
My phone has no data connection, but typically speaking, your phone would say, okay, 10 minutes starting now. And then we have background running apps. So I don't know if I mentioned this last class, but your device, every time you open an app, it is still running in the background of your applications of your phone. And having these apps running in the background decreases your battery life. So to stop your background running apps from running, you're going to want to tap the recents button. So here we have the recents button. It might also look like 3 lines. If you don't have to swear, it might be 3 lines. And then after you tap that, you're going to see a list of all of your applications that have been running. And then you want to swipe them to the right or the left to close them. And then once you do that, they're closed and they shouldn't be running in your background anymore. So does anybody have any questions about background running apps? Okay. So real quick, I just want to go over the agenda for next week. So we're going to be doing advanced chatting, and so we're going, or no, not advanced, I'm sorry. We're going to be doing chatting and voicemail. So we'll be going over texting, calling, voicemail, sending and receiving emails very briefly, call safety, your assistants, which is Bixby and Google, and then general settings, which are like sounds, display, language, time and date, and storage. All right, everyone, did anyone have any questions for me? All right, well, it was, oh.
Yeah, this is Eileen. When you're using maps, do you use a lot of your data because you're not under Wi-Fi?
Yes.
So how do you know how much data you're going to use to keep a map on or whatever?
Honestly, it's kind of hard to say. It depends on obviously the distance, and I think there's like quite a few factors in that. Are you on a limited data plan?
I'm in the middle of changing it. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I think that typically it shouldn't take too much, but it will take a good chunk of your, it won't take the whole amount of your data, but it's going to take a pretty good chunk, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then, oh yeah, Kathy?
Yeah, you said that it's last week's class is also available on YouTube.
Yeah, and I think that Carolyn just linked it in the chat.
In the chat. Okay, so you click on chat underneath your name.
Yeah, do you see? Yes. Do you see the chat?
Yeah.
Like, yes. So if you click on chat, there's going to be a link there. And if you click that link, it'll open up in a new tab.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Well, everyone, it's been a pleasure. If anybody has any questions, you can stick around. Other than that, I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.